Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of From No Crypto to No Crypto. I'm your host, the Crypto Coach, Blockchain Wayne. Today we're joined by Brock Collins. Brock is a full-time trader. Brock, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Wayne. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. We've been connected online for quite a while. You've been trading full-time now, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit, man, about your background. Like, how did you get into this? What made you jump into trading?
Man, honestly, I think a big introduction for a lot of people into trading was the 2017 bull run. I think Forex and everything, it was a big introduction for everybody. People weren't interested in traditional TA, it was a bunch of old dudes. The people didn't really see a use case for charts. But with that massive sort of euphoric bull run we got in 2017 when everything went crazy, people started to see a use case for it. So I think, that for me is what sparked everything. And, I turned 2 grand into like 50, 60K. I was pretty young back then and it was a lot of money for me. And then like most people, man, I just gave it all back, in a matter of a couple of months. But going from working in like a computer shop to making that kind of money, it's like, well, how do you go back to work? How do you go and do a 9 to 5 job after I've just made 40 grand, and like the percentage returns on that, it's like, oh man, there's got to be more to this. So the next few years were tough to say the least. I made money and gave it all back over and over again. So, and then during COVID, so I've been trading. I just sort of started to get on top of trading, and during COVID, I saw Ethereum put in like a double bottom with a high volume low. I posted it in Crypto Coin Traders, and I picked that up for $120. Um, and then so I rode that for the bull run, and that sort of set me up because I was still trying to find my feet trading, right? Like it takes years, man. People get the complete wrong idea about trading. It's not just a bull flag or a head and shoulders pattern. It's like you need to build a thesis on the market. You need to have a hypothesis. You need to use multiple charts, market sentiment. It's more of an art than it is a science. It's not just pattern trading and things like that. And that takes a long time. You need to build an intuitive relationship with the market. So anyway, that basically that Ethereum play gave me the room to be able to live and eat comfortably while I sort of really figured out how to actually trade. And now positioned pretty well to actually get some decent capital in for this run.
Yeah, man, and I think a lot of people have that same feeling. You look at the market, you look at the charts, and in a bull market, you think, oh, this is easy. Anybody can trade. It's so easy to make money. And then
Yeah.
think that I was on that same journey as you. 2016, 2017 were easy. 2018 was kind of humbling, right? It kind of taught us it's not so easy in 2019 as well, because I was there too, and I was trying to trade that market, and it's brutal. It takes a lot of discipline. It's
Mm, mm,
possible, but like anything, you have to study, you have to learn, and it's not as simple as, oh, look at this one indicator. All right, that's where we're going. If it
mm.
were
That's
that easy, right, everybody would be doing it.
absolutely, man. And that's, my mentor used to say to me, is like you either pay your tuition to the market or you pay for an education. But
Yeah,
even then, you can pay all the money in the world for the best educator in the world until you feel the pain of losing your money over and over and over again, man. And that's honestly the difference. Is like, and I really mean this, man. I don't like selling people a dream or anything like that. If you want to make it as a trader, you have to be obsessed. It has to be all you want to do, has to be with every fiber of your being. Investing's a different story, all right? But if you want to, especially like in these markets, man, you want to get in and get out and maximize your profit, I can nearly promise you that you're not going to out trade investors, man. And and it's been difficult even for me, doing this my whole life to be able to get entries in this market where I'm not even leverage trading right now because the market is irrationally euphoric, right? We're bouncing at levels that we shouldn't be bouncing from. They're not coming back into discount. They're not coming back into areas they usually would. So you're either going to get left behind or you're going to jump in, jump out, jump in. And it's not the thing to do, man.
makes sense, makes sense. And then once the market really, like once things start exploding, is that when you would start leverage trading?
So right now, so the market does two things, right? It essentially it trends and then it consolidates. Now, right now we've pushed out of a lot of lows. It depends on the altcoin, right? Some of them haven't made positive structure yet, and this is how you can tell. Some altcoins aren't going to make new highs. Some altcoins are just going to die. But if you use market structure, you can see they go from trending down. You get an impulsive move out of a consolidation. So all it is, you get a sideways move. You want to see them sweep the liquidity from underneath the consolidation and then push up. And then what that shows you is that big money has sucked in all the stop losses and then used that liquidity to position. And that's going to let you know that, like, okay, like these guys, there's smart money involved in this, so they have intentions of pushing this market higher. So looking at that, right, you can try to formulate a position there, but timing it, they might sweep that liquidity again. The longer they're going to trade sideways for, the more chance they have of sweeping that liquidity one more time. So where you put your stop loss becomes very, very difficult. And because crypto has such big swings, 20, 30%, you know,
Right.
you're getting 4 or 5x leverage on it anyway, and then you've got the risk of losing your whole position instead of being able to manage it like a spot trade. So you have to weigh up the risks and really look at the trades and, you know, have an understanding. But once this market starts trending, the first pullback we get a lot of these should pull back into major supports, like very obvious supports. From there, once you get a confirmation of them supports, you can look at leverage trading because you know that's where the bottom is. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Hmm.
so you teach people trading, right? It's not something you
Yeah.
do for fun, but you like to teach people trading. So someone's listening to this, they see the market, they're getting a little bit of that FOMO. And I
Hmm.
love your comment. Investing is a different story, right? I sleep a
Yeah.
lot better when I'm investing than when I try trading, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this market never stops, right? It's 24/7. It's not
Which is why I've got big bags under my eyes. It's like you said,
absolutely.
it's hard to sleep.
So someone's looking at this. What do you think? Like, where does their mindset need to be if they want to get into this, learn trading? Um, what is,
My advice for people who want to learn trading right now is don't. Right now is not the time to be, and you will, it will cost you money. I don't care who you are. No one has ever decided to start trading, picked up a system, and become a profitable trader. Like I haven't met them anyway, so I'm very doubtful they're out there. Most of the people who talk, like they're expert traders and everything, is really a good sign that, that they haven't been through the pain of being humbled and what it is actually like, or they're not using real money. So don't don't learn to trade right now. What you need to do, build the if you are interested in trading, right? And like if something that use this bull market to build a capital base. It's very simple, man. You can throw darts at a wall, find fundamentally sound projects. Most of these things are going to run 200-300%, if not 5, 10. All right. There's a lot of really solid alts that you should be able to make easy money from. Now, if you wanted to learn how to trade, use this to build the capital base, right? Just invest. Fine. And now is a really good time. I can show you why on the charts, actually. Wayne, if you give me a second.
yeah, let's pull that up.
Um, right. So as far as trading goes, you want to look for. Then this is what I was saying about leverage trading, right? It's very difficult when the market's just running in straight lines like this. You really need to have like sort of pullbacks, and the place you want to enter is stuff like here. But we're just running straight. You're not getting these pullbacks. It's difficult to enter. But anyway, looking at USDT.D, right? What we've got here is a monthly fair value gap. Now, what a fair value gap is essentially when the market trades, it offers fair value to investors. Now, what that means is it comes back and it will usually revisit the candle's body, right? So every candle, if you look, this candle trades back into this candle, etc. You see how there's wicks through here, right? Now, what a fair value gap is when you've got 1, 2, 3 candles, and the first candle and the third candle don't meet, leaves behind a fair value gap. Now, these are very high probability targets, right? Everyone is concerned about this trend line here. The market doesn't care about trend lines, right? They're more of an indication of momentum. And if you can see fast momentum coming into the market like this, that trend line's not going to hold. So where the market's heading is about 3.5% USDT.D. This is an extremely high probability target. Right, now we can see this on Bitcoin. So this means we know. So USDT.D, sorry, just to clarify,
Yeah, I was about
has
to
an
say,
inverse.
for those that do not understand that, tell them what
Yeah. So just to clarify, it has an inverse relationship with crypto. All right. So as USDT.D runs down, crypto runs up, right, and vice versa. So essentially, what it is it's tether dominance. So as money leaves crypto, it goes into tether, and as money leaves tether, it goes into crypto. Now you can actually chart these and get yourself an indication of where the market's headed, and this is how we start to build a narrative. Right. So we know that the market has this big long-term target down here, right, at this monthly fair value gap. So that's about, again, the same distance as we've already pushed this month on the higher time frame. All right. So that's how much money is trying to flow into the market. That's almost a minimum sort of long-term target. Now, if we go on to the others chart, now this is really important, man. This is what I mean about framing a narrative, right? There's so many things to consider that people really don't understand. This others chart, just here, this candle here, let me get rid of this. This candle here is the largest candle that we've ever had on the altcoins that just printed 2 weeks ago. As a 42% move at a $200 billion market cap, the largest candle in history. Now, as you can see, we've just pushed down. We're in this downtrend. We break out of the downtrend, and now we're pushing back up. Now, logic would tell you that they didn't just position the most money they've ever positioned in history so that they could trade up for 2 weeks and then push back down.
Right.
Okay, so now we've got a higher time frame target on tether dominance. We know that others chart is likely to continue. Now we're going to have a look at Bitcoin and what Bitcoin did in previous bull runs. All right, so if we look at Bitcoin here, we'll go to the weekly. Now the last time we broke the all-time high, which was down here. So just here we broke the all-time high. We rallied 100 and over 100%, and I pulled that from, it was about 120% last time I looked, right? So we rallied 120% without any kind of a pullback. Okay, so we rallied for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks in a straight up move the last time we broke all-time high. This time, we're only 2.5 weeks into the push up, and we've only rallied 30%. So what does that tell you about where we're at in the market now, if you thought about it, Wayne?
I don't know. For me, there's still a much bigger move coming, I would think.
Well, exactly. It tells us we're very early. I mean, this bull run went on for over a year before we found the highs.
Right.
So people are, when Bitcoin breaks the all-time highs, man, that's when the market, that is when the altcoins start pushing,
Yeah.
right? People are slowly accumulating now, and what happens is, as soon as Bitcoin gets its first sell-off, right, through here, this is when everyone freaks out, and what happens is the money actually rotates into altcoins. People are scared that this is going to cause a massive sell-off. The money actually rotates. The altcoins never, in the previous bull runs, actually went back and took out the lows that they made when Bitcoin broke all-time highs. All right, so again, he's starting to build this narrative. So if we look at the altcoins, all right, so we've already got in our mind that, okay, Bitcoin is likely just getting started. We know that Bitcoin starts to rally and then the altcoins follow. Now, looking at the altcoin chart, what can you see them forming here?
Yeah. Giant cup and handle.
Giant cup and handle. That's exactly right. So if that's a cup and handle, we know they're very unlikely to come back and take out the lows of this candle because this is, this is the biggest candle they've ever put in history. So what, they're going to push out, they're going to position all this money in the market with nowhere to get it out just so they can sell off again.
Right.
So we know this is a big cup and handle. So our target for the cup and handle, we take it from the base to the neckline, measure that same distance up. We've got a cup and handle target way above all-time highs. So my advice to people who aren't trading and who are long-term holding is to look at this. So, if people are getting scared right now, they're selling their bags and said, "Oh, it's euphoria." Man, Wayne, you've been around a long time. In euphoria, do you have half the market like, "Oh, I don't know, like this might be the top,"
No.
or
Everybody starts to believe it's going to go up forever, right? I mean, that's typically
yes,
what happens. And
ex
yeah, I mean, and this is a really good point because so many people say I'm late, I missed it, and they just need to realize each one of these cycles gives you a chance to
mm,
make money. Now, as an investor, you may not be trading daily, but you also have to have a goal when you come in to take profit. I would
hmm
say, right? Because there's always going to be a point where, um, you know, you'll give that back to the market if you just sit on it too.
Exactly, exactly. And this is, I mean, look, for me personally, and like I've got my plan, people always say like have your plan, and whether that's a dollar value or whatever, it is really important to have a plan because once this market starts taking off and you start to see all them zeros and
Yeah.
money you've never made so easily in your life, you start thinking with emotions.
Yeah.
You're not thinking intelligently. So I've got this big high time frame target on tether dominance here. All right, now we're pretty close to that. Here's where I think is going to be the first correction. All right, so whether this is going to be the top of the market or a sell-off, we're likely. Oh man, F is pumping. Hold on, give me 1 second.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was about to say you and I are in a Facebook group together called Crypto Coin Trader, and it's
Yeah,
fun. Like I'd love to be able to pull the data just to chart the sentiment in the group because you see people start to say ETH is dead, ETH is not really moving, it's not really
yeah,
doing. And we saw the same thing last time. Remember you talked about that $120? Yeah, it actually
yeah,
dipped, but like below 100 before it really
yeah,
took off again, right? It dropped all the way down from the high of the previous bear market of like what 12, 1300 down to like 80
yeah,
bucks. And
yeah,
then it took off. And now you see this, not the same people, but those same people with little experience that are like, Bitcoin's moving, ETH is dead, these other alts are dead. And let's get this right. I mean, there's a lot of alts that may never reach their all-time high
mhm,
again that
mhm.
they made in a prior cycle, but they could still give you massive gains, right?
Yeah, man.
I'm looking at Litecoin right now, right? I was
Mhm.
charting Litecoin and it's like even if Litecoin gets to like two-thirds of where it was prior, that's a 3x from where it is right now, right? So that's an easy move.
100%, man. 100%. So like, look, any of these blue chips, right? And anything that you can see with so this is a high risk play I was in now. This is all purely TA driven, Wayne. Now I can see. Remember we were talking about big impulse legs of money, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Moon River. I don't know what it does. I don't care. I saw the chart. It's a big impulsive leg of money. So someone's positioned here. Someone knows something, yeah. And all they did, people aren't getting out of this. They're slowly selling, slowly selling, slowly selling, and you can use OBV to confirm that, right? I'll show you just quickly on balance volume. There's So see the moves trending down here,
Yeah. And
but
then
this blue line's trending up.
yeah.
That means this whole move is being bought into on the way down. All right. So if we look at this, just back to that high of this candle, right? This one candle. Now let me show you. If I zoom out on the mover chart, I'll show you how big this move could potentially be. Look how far away we are from the highs.
Yeah.
You see that? We only need to get back up to this one impulse, to the highs of this one impulse leg, and it's a 300% move.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And like you said, you don't need to chase all-time highs.
Yeah, let's talk about another one real quick, man. I'm gonna ask you to pull up a
Yeah,
chart because as I
yeah,
told you before we started this recording, man, the market's been very brutal in terms of there's a lot of great cryptocurrency projects out there that
mhm,
build great tools, have great protocols. Kind of self plug here. I help run FIO, and I'm asking you to pull that one up because it's been brutal for us too. We create a lot of utility in the market because no matter
mhm,
which cryptocurrency gets adopted, we're going to be useful. But the market
yep.
hasn't adopted that one. But I don't know. What do you kind of see there? Because we've seen a lot of volatility at the bottom.
Yeah, I can see there's a lot of wicks coming through here. Oh man, I mean, look, the weekly chart looks good, man. So it's look, it's tough to say
Right.
using volume alone, man. This looks to me like I mean, almost definitely this has been accumulated. Um, so
The
if you
one
look, right,
giant spike about a month or two ago was actually when Binance listed us on futures. So we saw massive.
yeah.
Yeah.
So look, it's interesting. It's tough to use OBV with altcoins at times,
Yeah.
but I mean, as you can see, it's been trending the whole way up, and it hasn't necessarily been reflected because different exchanges, things like that. I'm just trying to look. Um, Look, the markets. So you can see this liquidity is being swept from these lows down here. All right. Remember when I was talking before? They take out the stops before they get the big run.
Yeah.
We've pushed up. We've had this impulsive leg. It, Let me have a look on the monthly. Look, if we can get back, mm, let me just. I need to look at a few different time frames here. So no, it's tough, man. What's the market cap on this one?
It's around 30 mil.
I mean, that's pretty decent, but I personally like will try to stay away from anything under 100, 200 mil, just because with those smaller amounts of money, like if someone's got a 1 mil bag, man, they can drastically move the market, and that's why you see a lot of these wicks here. It's tough to sort of really determine the structure. It's yeah. So look, it's a bit difficult for me to chart this one. I mean, it's a smaller cap. It's not as like controlled.
Gotcha.
But so you got listed on Binance futures?
Yeah, so we've been on Binance Spot for 4.5 years, but they added us to futures a couple months ago.
Yeah, nice. I mean, that's so obviously that means there's enough liquidity and then there's enough interest inside of the coin.
Yeah, I think that same week we had like 8 different exchanges add us to
Oh,
futures. Personally, I'm not trading it. This is my long-term bag. I know what we do. I'm betting on it long-term.
yeah.
At some point, the market's going to recognize, what we do and bring it back. But I was just curious what you saw from a trader perspective. But that's good insight.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's nothing inherently bad about it. It's just it hasn't made enough structure yet. But there's a lot of altcoins that I think are very promising projects that are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We're still very early in this. What people don't realize, right? They're freaking out like, well, Bitcoin's pumping, why aren't my altcoins? Bitcoin pumps, then Ethereum pumps, and then the altcoins pump. This is early, man. This is when you want to be buying, not not after your altcoins start pumping, man. Not when ADA's run 200%, 300%. Like buy now, the early, like the stuff that hasn't ran.
Yep, absolutely, man. So what are you seeing on Ethereum right now? Just
So I actually had all these levels marked, man. If you go on my Facebook page, I said that the high risk buyers, and this is what I mean. Look, typically, so this is a fair value gap I was talking about. I posted this level a few days ago. I said we're two levels I'm looking at is this fair value gap here, and this was the high risk buyers, and then the next level I was looking at was down here. There's a small fair value gap. So what I'm saying, so this is the others chart.
yeah,
All right. I mean, we're making new highs, man. We're pushing the others chart. I think I messaged you a few days ago. I said, look, there's a good chance that we're just gonna run in a pretty straight line, straight up here. So this is collective altcoins, and that's going to form that cup and handle. This is what I'm saying, man. I don't know how people are bearish right now. I've
right.
any of these guys that post these charts, all the time. And look, I mean, it's off, man. As soon as Ethereum, so if we look at Ethereum compared to BTC, as soon as Ethereum starts outpacing BTC, and look at that candle, I mean, as
Yeah,
soon as we get that, it's alt season. As soon as Ethereum starts outpacing BTC, so if we get a break, so you look at market structure for this, right? So if we get a break, probably say the last highs here. If we get a break above this level on an FBTC, I mean, we're off to the races, man, about 0.4243. It's on, but these altcoins, it's very unlikely they're going to sell off and make new lows. This was where the lows got put in. If your altcoins are already trending up, man, it's time to buy. Sorry, as you can tell, I get pretty excited. I'm low on sleep. It's been a very eventful couple of weeks for me.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, hell, we tried to do this podcast once before, and you said you fell asleep with your phone in your hand, right? Just it's getting to that exciting time, and you knew that was coming.
Mm.
So to those that are listening, as we go through this, what would be your recommendation? Maybe because I think most of the audience and most of the people even we're talking to in that group we're in, right, in Crypto Coin Trader, they
Mm.
may have been through a cycle already. They may have tried trading, got wrecked. Those guys that
Mm.
talk about how the market doesn't really, they'll say TA doesn't work or the market doesn't move. But what advice would you give the people that are looking at this market and they're not sure what to do next?
I think that's a good question. It's a really good question. So my advice would be, first and foremost, if you're going to invest into coins that have already run, make sure you have great conviction in them. You've already done a lot of research into them, because your downside risk is phenomenally higher. Because as soon as if they get any kind of retracement or start making new lows or anything like that, you can quickly give back 80%. Right now, looking at something like uni, like I posted an entry on this one at 8.2. You know, it's because this was so 8.2. So you can see, look, here's where the big impulsive move came in. So if they're going to take out this low, then I'm not confident in the trade anymore. So ideally, you want to get as close to this low, right, where the big spike came in as you possibly can. So that only gives you like, 15% downside risk as opposed to 80% on something that's just had this massive upwards run. Next piece of advice would be diversify and diversify according to the size of the market cap. All right. So your bigger plays, your safer plays, your blue chips, you're only going to get maybe 200-300% in a good bull run, but you need to have a strong allocation of your portfolio towards that. First and foremost, the large caps are the ones that are going to run first. All right, so your high risk plays are unlikely to run first anyway. So you're going to build your portfolio using these blue chips first, right? Things like AVAX, which is already running. Link is probably going to be one of the next ones to pop off. You can see LTC, XRP, ADA, all the old OGs are running. And so find your blue chips, have at least 50-60% of your portfolio in something like that, so that no matter what, you can at least safeguard yourself from getting wrecked in the run, right? So you want to make sure you got something that's a pretty sure bet. Next, don't go all in all at once. All right, there's going to be different narratives. There's going to be there's going to be different narratives emerge, especially in a bull market. There's going to be different hype trains and things like that. Allocate maybe 10% of your portfolio towards these high risk plays. All right, if you really need to get into them, do not apply a large amount of capital towards these high risk plays. All right, just for your own psychological sake, so you're not missing out, have that little bit of money set aside so that you can still sort of dabble with them, whatever. Right? Don't just start dumping, and don't add to stuff that's already running. All right, don't add to winners. You don't know how to if you don't know how to read a market, do not add to your winners. All right, you mess your risk up. Next thing, your high risk plays, right? The best time to use the high risk plays are going to be after Bitcoin's first pullback. So Bitcoin will run, and the reason for this is because this is when euphoria happens. Bitcoin will run, we'll get a pullback. On that pullback, everyone will say, "Oh no, this is the end. This is the end." All right, now, when you get that first, this is the end. That's when you go, okay, now it's go time, because once the market starts to rally again, that's when everyone thinks we're never ever going down. This is it's Bitcoin forever, because you get one pullback, the market pushes through the pullback, and then it's like, it's on, man. Everyone will buy whatever you want. You throw money out, it's free money. Save your high risk money for that first Bitcoin pullback, and the next leg up, that's when you want to hit it hard. All right. Right now, play your blue chips, rotate. Sorry, man.
Nice. All great advice, man, and I appreciate you coming on to talk about this. I bring a lot of people on that are building on the tech side, but this is important because so many people are looking at this initially from an investment standpoint, and first and foremost, they have to identify: are they going to be a trader? Are they going to be an investor? And what's their risk? What they're going to put into this? And having this insight into the market is really good, because it's always easy to look back at a chart that's already printed and say, "Oh yeah, that's easy. I could have bought here and sold here and made money." And I think it's humbling to see that. So you actually have you have you teach people to trade, right? So where can people follow you and find out more about what you do?
Just on my Facebook, Brock Collins. I post a lot of stuff there. I think, we've had discussions about maybe doing something together, Wayne. I don't know if we'll see what happens with that. I've got it's just the Discord. Right now, I was teaching people how to trade very closely, one-on-one mentorship, and the reason for that is, man, I don't believe in these plug and play trading course groups. These your YouTube traders and things like that. Man, you cannot learn to trade a market effectively watching YouTube, because no one's there to correct you. Sometimes your trade can be perfect, but the market will go against you, and then you go to scratch and you start again. You really need someone to have that one-on-one guidance, that hands-on learning. I'm not going to have time to do that right now for people, so I've stopped offering that. All right, and I've moved to a subscription sort of service where you can just follow my plays. I'll explain things to you, help you through the market, but I'm not going to have the time to teach people how to trade in this environment.
Right.
Once the bull run settles down, yeah.
All right, awesome, man. So definitely follow Brock. I'll have the link in the description as far as where you can follow him. And Brock, man, thanks for your time today, man. It's been great. Any final words before we wrap up, man?
Man, just look, have your plan now. All right, because as soon as you start making big money, you're going to get sucked in it, and there's going to be idiots all over the internet telling you that things are going to go up forever, and you're going to want to believe them. So you're going to believe them because they're telling you what you want to hear. You're going to have a confirmation bias inside of your head, and you're going to suck in all of this information. Write down on a piece of paper now. Don't be a greedy piggy. Keep safe.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the biggest problem or the biggest thing that most of us learn going through a cycle is you get
Mhm.
greedy, you think the market's going to go up forever, and then it humbles you, to say the least.
Yeah, it does. Yes.
Awesome.
But thanks very much, Wayne. I really appreciate you having me on. We'll catch up again soon.
Yeah, absolutely, Brock. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care, everybody.